Hello everyone. Welcome to Happy Science Meditation Seminar. I'm Bobby Mai, Minister of Happy Science. Thank you for joining us today. Firstly, let me recite the prayer to the Lord. Prayer to the Lord. Our Lord, El Cantare, you are the source of all light, all power, all wisdom, and all love. May you give us light, give us power, give us wisdom, and give us love. O Lord, our Father, please protect this planet of love earth. Protect us from all evil, and open a future for us. O Lord, thank you for giving us light. We give thanks from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you again for joining us today. Today, we also studied this book, The Laws of Happiness by Ryuho Okawa. I would like to talk about the 4 principles of human happiness, which Master Okawa teaches in Happy Science as the principles of happiness. The principles of happiness. These 4 principles didn't come to Master Okawa's mind one day just suddenly. They grew from his own real-life experiences. In this sense, it is true that they are the 4 principles to happiness. But they are also the 4-fold path to enlightenment. This 4-fold path to enlightenment is the 4 ways of getting out of human suffering and worries. I would like to discuss some common topics about human suffering and worries. Today, I would like to focus on the principle of self-reflection, especially the effect of self-reflection, talking about cutting off evil spirit disturbances through self-reflection. One of the reasons you don't succeed in life and enter the path to defeat is actually a spiritual issue. In other words, you can also be influenced by evil spirits. I cannot show you the numbers, statistics to prove this to you in a clear way. But I would say that more than half of people nowadays are under the negative influence of evil spirits. When you are possessed by an evil spirit, you are always suffering, believing you are being victimized, and you will feel dissatisfaction with other people and your environment. Your life perspective becomes the opposite of everything, and therefore you will acquire a life perspective that say, I just have to criticize people who are happy and succeeding in life. And you will not have any feelings that say, I'll make the effort to find a way myself, or I'm going to do something for the sake of others. You will look at others and always see them as bad people, and you will keep recognizing their bad points. Here, I would like you to watch Master Oka's lecture titled The Principle of Possession. which describes the system or mechanism of possession. Please watch.
If I am to go into greater detail of the reasons why possession occurs, I cannot do so without mentioning the law of same wavelengths attraction. This law is a major teaching of happy science, and is one that I would like you all to grasp a clear understanding of. Although you are currently living on Earth as three-dimensional beings, your mind is always in contact with the world beyond because it is the central core of your soul. The mind can be described as an electromagnet, which always generates spiritual radio waves. The mind is in a state of constant exchange with the spirit world. The two are affecting and being affected by each other. The question of just what this electromagnet attracts to it provides us with the key to understanding possession. If you wish to know what kind of spirit is in possession of you at the moment, or what kind of spirit is likely to come to you, all you have to do is examine the state of your mind. In most cases, your mind will be in contact with spirits that share the same type of thoughts. This law of same wavelengths attraction is quite difficult to comprehend, but an instinctive understanding of the subject is quite accurate. Consider a television. If the television is not tuned into a certain channel, it won't show any image. But when the channel is tuned properly, the image is quite clear. The same is true of the radio. If it's tuned in properly, the FM programs can be heard. But if the frequencies do not match, you will hear nothing. That is how it is with the mind. Various kinds of broadcast wavelengths are emitted from the realms of heaven or hell, but if the people on earth are not tuned into these, they will not be able to receive them. Possession takes place when the frequencies of the mind come into alignment. So what is the main thing to be careful of? Well, there is an envious mind, one that is filled with envy for others. Next is a heart that is always filled with dissatisfaction and complaint. Then there is the kind of heart that is forever cursing or abusing others, hurting them with bad words. There is a cynical heart, and there is a heart that suffers from a persecution complex. Basically, the majority of people who are spiritually disturbed suffer from persecution complexes. They believe that they're always bullied and that they always lose out. The other side of this complex is a tendency to always put the blame on others. They blame their parents, their friends, their teachers, their superiors at work, their colleagues, their lovers, the environment, their job, the economy, anything but themselves. They think it is never their fault. It's always somebody else who deserves the blame. It is people who have a tendency to avoid any responsibility themselves that hellish spirits find easy to approach. Another kind of negative heart's an angry heart. Everybody loses their temper at times, but people who become angry on a regular basis, who are always in a rage, are generally in tune with hell. People who are filled with unreasonable rage will find that they attract hell spirits. In this way, people who soon lose their temper, who say terrible things, who complain, always blaming others for their misfortune, will be approached by hell spirits. The opposite is also true. People with a low sense of self-esteem, a low opinion of themselves, people who think they are no good, who are rubbish, who think they are beyond help, and that it would have been better if they were never born, will also find that they attract hell spirits. Their hearts are also hidden under dark clouds. According to Buddhist doctrine, the main factors that create a negative mind can be summed up as greed, anger, foolishness, pride, doubt, and false view. Greed is excessive desire. Everybody possesses desire, but if it's taken too far, it appears very ugly to others. He is too greedy, he doesn't do much work, but he's always trying to get a rise. He's trying to make money without doing anything. A favourite theme in samurai movies is that of the local administrator who gets defeated by a virtuous hero. In these stories, the administrator is generally greedy. Those who are willing to break the laws enforced to make a profit. This kind of person can be said to suffer from excessive greed. The next delusion is anger, about which I spoke earlier. It's the kind of heart that suddenly flies into a rage, is prone to possession by animal spirits, particularly snakes. Next, we have foolishness. This refers to the kind of person who makes many mistakes and creates their own suffering. In particular, there is foolishness with regard to religious truth. There are many people who claim the opposite to religious truth, who believe the opposite of what I preach. They think that pleasure is everything in this world. They devote themselves to pleasure and do not search for anything spiritual. People who only seek happiness through material or physical things are fools. This is what is meant by foolishness. Even though they may have a high IQ and be able to excel in their studies at school, a person may still be a fool. Pride stems from the heart of conceit. The conceit brings them down and makes them suffer. The road to hell can be created through suffering. There are many people who fail in their aims due to conceit. The next is doubt, and when I talk of it in this context, I'm generally referring to the doubt of the truth of Buddha. But it also includes suspicion, a tendency to suspect others and not to be tractable. The final factor, false view, refers to somebody who has a wrong outlook. There are numerous mistaken outlooks, and some of them are taught in schools. These become political and economic ideologies, and sometimes they're adopted by organizations or religious groups who teach mistaken ideas. Once you've become possessed by a mistaken idea, you'll see everything wrongly. For this reason, somebody who's a member of a mistaken religion will find it most difficult to achieve enlightenment. I think that salvation will prove impossible until they decide to leave the organization. It'll be hard to achieve enlightenment while in a gang of robbers. So it'll be difficult to find the truth while in a group of people who believe in a false ideology. There are many false views in the world today. Even among intellectuals, false views are extremely common. The worst disseminator of wrong views is journalism, due to the mistaken reports that appear in the newspapers, on the television and the like. The world is flooded with false ideas. As a result of the ensuing confusion, hell is able to regenerate itself regularly. You should think of all these delusions as the foundations for a negative heart. In addition, on an emotional level, sudden rage, complaining, and placing the blame on others also denote a negative mind. Basically, somebody whose words, actions, and lifestyles are bad can be said to express a bad heart. There are many spiritual beings who actively try to hinder me, and in order to prevent them from succeeding, I have to make a systematic defense. This can be achieved through the efforts of the individuals as well as by the use of a barrier. The various branches of happy science also serve as a form of barrier. Believers come to visit and take part in ceremonies in the prayer rooms. A kind of spiritual aura guards the branches, and naturally, this is even truer of the Shoshinkan, as they combine to create a barrier. In the home, if the whole family believes in the teachings of happy science and recite the Dharma of the right mind, watch videos, listen to CDs, read books about the truth, and carry out self-reflection, then a barrier will be created around the house, making it difficult for stray spirits to enter. The inside of the house will become a kind of fortress to protect them from the outside world. In order to prevent possession by stray spirits, it's important that the individual should retain harmony in their mind and look after their physical health. In order to maintain your defense, you should work with friends or other believers to protect yourself. In particular, you should create barriers in our branches and shojas. and in your own home that will prevent the stray spirits from entering. This is most important, and it's a good idea if you go about it in a systematic way.
How was that lecture? Now you understand the meaning of possession. To avoid being possessed by evil spirits, it is extremely important to remain rational. When you are possessed by an evil spirit, your swing emotions will become very pronounced. If you find yourself in such a situation, then get the necessary amount of sleep. Be mindful to take care of your health and try to improve your overall condition in this way. Improving your condition is a must, but there is also a weapon you can use to fight evil spirits. The easiest weapon to use against them is the practice of self-reflection. Even if you are being possessed by an evil spirit, don't place too much blame on the evil spirit itself. If it's capable of possessing you, that means that there is definitely something inside of you that is in truth with it and attracting it to you. Therefore, you have to think that it's not the evil spirit you are fighting against. You are fighting against the evil within your mind. This is a teaching that has been taught repeatedly in Buddhism, and it's that evil spirits sneak into your mind through your attachments. When you have an attachment to something, the root of this attachment in your mind is something this worldly. It's the aspect of you that is attached to things in this world and is saying, I wanted this, I wanted that. And this is creating your problem. This is usually the source of your attachment. This means that if you can point out what your attachment is, you are near the path to freeing yourself of it. If you cannot recognize what your attachment could be, then reflect on the things you are thinking about throughout the day, during the times you are not really conscious thinking. The thoughts inside of you that occur repeatedly throughout the day, the thoughts that you think about all day long are indicating what your attachment is. It's the thought that comes up again and again throughout your days, and you sometimes happen to realize you are thinking about it. This is what it means for an evil spirit to plug its cord into you. Without a doubt, that the very thought that it will plug its cord into, and is that thought you will have to get rid of. What can you do to get rid of your attachments? As I have mentioned earlier on, one way of doing so is to change your thinking from seeking love from others, to give love to others. And if your feelings of inferiority run deep so that you are continually thinking about how unintelligent you are, another approach is to put a different thought in its place. The possession is the result of feelings of dissatisfaction with their environment or something else. When the evil spirit detached from you, though your self-reflection, you will actually feel it peeling away from you. It really feels as though there is wallpaper being peeled off you, even though spirits don't actually weigh anything. You physically feel heavy when the evil spirit is possessing you. The moment this evil spirit peels away from you, there will also be a light that flows into your body, and wash of warmth will fill your body. Or as color returns to your face, you will feel the warmth inside you, like the warmth of sunshine. Then you will recognize that you feel much lighter than before. But if you repeat your worries again and again, the evil spirit will come back to you, even if you are able to remove it once. For this reason, after the evil spirit goes away, it's very important to live with a bright outlook on your life, as much as you are able to. Now the time for practicing self-reflection. Firstly, I will recite prayer to guardian and guiding spirits. Prayer to guardian and guiding spirits. My guardian and guiding spirits, deep inside of me, you are the fountain of life, the light of hope, the source of wisdom, and the shield of courage. Every day, may you help me develop my soul and refine my mind. Every day, may you give me inspiration and show me the right path to follow. Please protect me from all evil and guide me in living a better life. For this, I give my thanks. Now we are going to practice self-reflection. Just follow the guidance of Master Oka. Let us begin.
Please straighten your back.
そして軽く呼吸を整えてください。
And harmonize your breathing.
では前に
Please put your hands together in prayer.
この合唱の
The position of your hand in prayer represents you being in the middle way,
偏らない。
which is not to sway either to the left or right.
心は
Adjust your mind to what is represented by your hands in prayer.
そして
Then take deep breaths.
ください。 では
We will now begin
1番目
our
の
first self-reflection practice.
あなたは
Now the first question to
あ
ask
ることを
yourself
知ら
is,
ない欲望を持って
do you have any desires that know no contentment right now?
欲望を持っていないでしょうか
Do you have a heart of endless desire? Find this desire in your mind and reflect upon it in this exercise.
静かに目を開けて
Slowly open your eyes, and you may put your hands down.
どういう
What kind of
自分が
person did you discover about yourself? It is best not to be recognized more than what you have worked
仕
for.
事以上の
When you begin to receive more recognition than the amount of your effort, then conceit begins to grow within you.
そこにおごりが生まれます。
This will eventually lead you to the wrong path.
それが間違いとなっていきます。
You may be working very hard to achieve
皆
your
さん方
goal,
は一生懸
but
命
if you receive 10% of the result after putting in 100% in your work,
100の仕事をして
then you must accept the result as it is.
たらそれで
The remaining 90% that you have not received is what you have offered to Buddha or God. If you worked by putting in 100%, but got a 10% return, then you must be grateful and be satisfied with what you received. 10% is a good enough return. The remaining 90% is what you have offered to the Lord. If you put in 100% and received 100%, then that work is not an offering to the Lord. The desire that knows no contentment means to have the heart that craves more results than what you have put in. If you are living a life for the purpose of giving, then you must have a strong desire to achieve this goal. It is just right to feel that 90% of the work you do is for the purpose of giving back to the Lord. It is important to think that it is enough if you are recognized and given 10% of what you have put into your efforts.
How was the self-reflection? Could you feel the warmth inside you? Like the warmth of sunshine. Please keep practicing and make it habit. Now let us practice meditation to receive divine light from guiding spirit of happy science.
それでは心を調和してください。
Please calm your mind
背筋を伸ばしてください。
and straighten your back.
背筋を伸ばし、
Relax your shoulders
肩の力を抜き、
and harmonize your breathing.
呼吸を整えてください。
Gently close your eyes.
それでは第4前の
Now,
最後に
the last part of the fourth meditation.
呼吸指導
Receive heavenly light
光をいた
from
だ
the
く
guiding
こ
spirits
ととします。
of happy
はる
science.
かなる天空よりあなた方の心に数多くの
Light will shine
光が
abundantly into your hearts.
差し込んでまいります。この喜びを、この
Please
温かさ
feel
を
the happiness and the warmth while receiving this light.
How was the meditation? In conclusion, after you get rid of the evil spirit by practicing self-reflection, what you should do from then on is to live a constructive and positive life to avoid turning into the evil spirit suffering vibration again. I have talked about the principle of self-reflection. This principle is also teaching that you yourself are the main actor who can break through your spiritual disturbances as you strive to enter the path to happiness, the path to enlightenment. It all begins with yourself in the end. Thank you for joining us today. I'm now, I think, in Japan, but still I can see you next week, same time, same way. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'll see you next